Hello students, a very good afternoon, very good evening to all, and I am back with daily newspaper analysis. Today is 1st of June, and for today we shall be discussing 5 important articles from various sources. So today I took articles from PIB, from The Hindu as well as Indian Express. So all the prelims oriented topics we shall be discussing now. The first article is related to recently launched Logistics Port Performance Index. So recently this index was unveiled by the Ministry of Ports. So here we shall be discussing what are the important parameters, what is the significance, etc., etc. Next article is related to the CSR initiative. So this zero coupon, zero principal instrument will from now onwards will be used under the CSR initiatives of various corporates. Next article is related to BrahMos Missile. So recently India has finalized the agreement to export BrahMos Missile to some countries. So here we shall be discussing what are those countries and what are the basics about the BrahMos Missile. Next, very important article from mapping point of view as well as geographical point of view is the Beaufort Castle in Israel. Just a second. Yes. So here this article is related to Beaufort Castle in Lebanon, not in Israel. So here recently Israel has captured that Beaufort Castle. And now the last article is related to transhumans in Himalayas. So here we shall be discussing some of the important communities which are undergoing this practice of transhumans in the Western Himalayas. Yes. So the first article is related to Logistics Port Performance Index. So recently this was unveiled by the Ministry of Ports. So first of all, let's discuss the objectives, that what is this initiative, what is the objective, what are the various categories, etc. The first important thing about this is that this Logistics Performance Index has been developed under Sagar Aankalan framework. See, Aankalan is a Hindi word which means to judge the performance of anything. So here Sagar Aankalan framework is related to the judgment of the performance related to various major or minor ports in the country. So that's why this is related to judgment or performance. Performance of what? Performance of various ports in the country. That's why it comes under Sagar Aankalan framework. Now, here if we talk about the aim, so its aim is to assess the performance as well as to improve the performance of the ports which are not performing well. So please remember, the main aim is not just to incentivize or promote only the ports which are performing very good, but the important aim is also to uplift the ports, uplift the minor or major ports which are not performing well, but we have to improve their competitiveness. Now comes the very important point for the prelims. So this index, this Logistics Performance Index, will evaluate the ports under 3 segments. So what are those 3 segments? These are, let me change the color. Okay, so these segments are dry bulk, liquid bulk as well as container cargo. So dry bulk means all the solid kind of material which can be as it is loaded on the container in the ships. So for example, the grains, or for example, any kind of mineral which we can load as it is on the container. Talking about the liquid bulk, so liquid bulk means the categories which require the specialized containers. For example, compressed hydrogen gas, or for example, compressed liquefied natural gas, etc. So these things will come under liquid bulk. And finally, coming to the container cargo. Container cargo means the goods which can be directly used by the consumers. For example, we can say the processed food. So it will come under the container cargo. So please remember, because this index is very, very significant for India, so it can be asked next year in the prelims. So what are the 3 segments under which this port will assess, this index will assess everything? So these are dry bulk, liquid bulk as well as container cargo. Under these 3 segments, assessment will be done. Now, Next thing, the article says that this will align with PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, Maritime India Vision of 2030, as well as Maritime Amrit Kal Vision. So see, basically all these schemes or all these things will aim towards the overall infrastructure development in India, as well as the promotion of blue economy. So that's why, so see, if ever these kind of statements are asked in prelims, so see, everything which is launched by the government of India, so in some way or the other, it will promote the next scheme or it will be related to other scheme. So, and even if you don't know about these schemes, that whether this will align with all these initiatives or not, then also you can say that, okay, all these things will align with the goal of PM Gati Shakti Yojana, Maritime Amrit Kal Vision, etc., etc. Now, so see, what was very important for the prelims? Very important for the prelims was the three segments under which this index will assess all the ports in India. So what are those? Dry bulk, liquid bulk, as well as container cargo. And along with that, I described the meaning also. What is the meaning of dry bulk, liquid bulk, as well as container cargo? Now, next thing comes the indicators or parameters. See, these are also very, very important for the prelims, because if any index or any report is very much in the news, no, so indicators can also be asked. So in a way, I will say you have to by heart only. So you have to read all these parameters and you have to learn also. You have to remember all these. So let's discuss line by line. So first parameter in which the ports will be assessed. So that parameter is the cargo handled, or the amount of cargo which is handled by any port. So see, if more amount of cargo is handled by the ships which are docked in the port, then we can say the efficiency of that port is very good. So first parameter is cargo handled. Cargo handled, dry cargo, liquid cargo, or the container. Next thing comes the vessel turn around time. So vessel turn around time means the time which is taken by a ship. So see, for example, this is a port. Is it visible? Yes. So for example, this is a port. And so if we want to calculate a turnaround time, so we will calculate in this way. So see, for example, in this port, the ship has arrived on 1st of June at 8 a.m. The ship has arrived to the port. Okay. Now, on 2nd of June at 6 p.m., all the cargo formalities are done. All the cargo are loaded. The dry cargo, liquid cargo, everything is loaded on the ship, and all the cargo formalities are done by the 2nd of June by 6 p.m. And by 2nd of June, 8 a.m., the cargo is ready for the departure. So now the time at which the ship came, the time at which the ship was docked at the port, or ship arrived at the port, and the time at which the departure happened. So the overall time is the 36 hours. So this 36 hours is called as the vessel turn around time. So see, if this vessel turnaround time is very, very less, so in that way you can say that the efficiency of any port is very high. That means no time is wasted in the cargo formalities, or no any documentation or anything. So you must know that this vessel turnaround time should be very, very less for any port. So do you understand that here the ship arrived at 1st of June 8 a.m. 2nd of June 6 p.m. formalities are completed, and on 2nd of June 8 p.m. departure happened. So here 36 hours will be the turnaround time. So actually this 36 hours is also a very long time. So ideally the ships must not take more than 12 hours to including the loading and including the departure. So that's why the turnaround time for any ship must be very, very less. So that's why this second parameter is the vessel turnaround time. Now comes the third parameter, and that is the berth idle time. So see, berth means, berth you can consider a kind of a parking space for any ship. So berth is the docking area for any ship. So berth idle time means the time where berths remain unused. So see, here the time for which berth remain unused, that means the time for which a parking slot is remaining unused. So see, if it is remaining unused, no, then we can say if this time is very large, so we can say that port is not that much efficient. Because the meaning of that is you are not using the berths efficiently. Next thing is pre-berthing waiting time. Pre-berthing waiting time means the time for which other ships are waiting to be docked or to be parked. So see, if more and more ships are waiting to be parked or to be docked, that means there is over congestion on any port. So then also we will say that your port is not very efficient. That's why this is also very important parameter in judging the efficiency of any port. Next comes the container dwell time. Yes, so here container dwell time means the time containers are remaining inside the port. So you can consider in this way. For example, a passenger A has already landed at platform, but container dwell time is the time for which the passenger A will remain inside the station. So if more and more time is taken by that passenger A inside the station, that means your efficiency is very less. Why? Because you can consider that more and more time is taken for the container formalities, for paperwork, etc. That's why till now the cargo has not come out of the port. So here that's why container dwell time is also very important. And finally, ship berth day output. That means the cargo which is handled per day by any ship while being docked at the docking station or while being docked at the berth. So this is the last parameter. So please remember, you have to remember all these 6 parameters. So what are those parameters? Cargo handled by any ship, vessel turnaround time, berth idle time, pre-berthing waiting time. Next is the container dwell time, and finally ship berth day output. Yes. Now let's discuss some of the important features of this index. The first important feature is related to the equal weightage. Equal weightage to what? So whenever you are assessing the efficiency of any port, so 50% weightage will be given to the current performance, that at present how you are performing, and 50% weightage will be given to your performance over the year, that how much improvement have been seen over the year. So it's not like if at present you are performing very good, then 100 marks to this board. No, 50% for your current performance and 50% for your overall improvement. And next, if we talk about the objectives, I think objective we already discussed, that objective is not just to reward the good performing port. Objective is also to improve the ports which are not performing very well. Now, yes, top performance is also very important for any government exam. So if we are talking about the logistics port performance index, so let's discuss about the top performance, about the first and second position. So see, we already discussed that there are 3 categories, right? Dry bulk, liquid bulk, as well as container cargo. So in the dry bulk category, which port has ranked first? So port is the Paradip Port Authority, which is in Odisha. So here this port has ranked the first position under the dry bulk cargo category. Second category is the liquid bulk cargo. So for liquid bulk cargo, Sikka Port and Terminals have secured the first position. So Sikka Port is located in the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat. So please remember, under the liquid bulk cargo category, Sikka Port and Terminals have secured the first position. Next is the container cargo category. Container cargo category, for that Mundra Port have secured the first position. And finally, if we talk of in the container cargo category for the major ports, so JNPT, that is Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority, have secured the second position. So these were some of the important points which can be asked in prelims. So for prelims, the segment is also important. The sectors under which you are assessing the ports, the parameters are also very important. That under what parameters the ports will be assessed, as well as the top performance are also very important. So since all the things we have discussed now, I have summarized in this image. So actually, I will upload this PDF on our Telegram channel, so you can revise everything from this image. So each and everything has been summarized in this image. Okay. Now, next important article is related to zero coupon, zero principal instrument. So basically, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs have came up with a very good initiative. Let's see, you already know that corporate social responsibility is being dealt with under the Companies Act 2013, and which is under Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Now Ministry of Corporate Affairs has said that now companies can contribute in CSR through this zero coupon, zero principal instrument also. So this is the context. Now let's discuss first that what is this zero coupon, zero principal instrument. So see, zero coupon means zero interest. So see here what will happen. For example, this is company A and this is one not for profit organization. So what will happen now, since company A has the obligation to contribute in the CSR activities, so ministry is saying that instead of directly contributing to CSR activity or directly implementing any social welfare project, for example education or health, what you can do, you can invest in the zero coupon, zero principal instrument, which will be issued by a not for profit organization. And important thing is, this not-for-profit organization must be registered under Social Stock Exchange. So if I revise everything, so for example, if a company A wants to invest in CSR initiatives but do not want to implement the project itself, so it can invest in the zero coupon, zero principal instrument, which will be issued by a not-for-profit organization. And this organization must be registered under Social Stock Exchange. Understood? So this was given in this table itself. So zero coupon, that means that since A is investing in this instrument, but A will not receive any interest on that. Zero principal means A will not get back its principal amount also. You have given, now just forget it. Now the purpose, what is the purpose? Purpose is purely for the social impact and public welfare. Who will issue this instrument? This instrument will be issued by a eligible not-for-profit organizations, not all the not-for-profit organizations. Government will assess the background and government will say, oh, okay, these are the eligible NPOs. So these NPOs can issue this instrument and they must be registered under Social Stock Exchange. So what is the Social Stock Exchange? It is a platform on which money can be raised or money can be invested or stocks can be bought related to just for the social welfare. For example, education, healthcare, environmental benefit, etc. etc. Now, so here just now we discussed that how these things work. So here what will happen? For example, a company is having a CSR obligation. So what company can do? Company can subscribe to this zero coupon, zero principal instrument, but this instrument must be issued by a not-for-profit organization, which must be listed on a social stock exchange. Now funds can be related to what? Funds can be raised related to what? Funds can be raised for the social projects. What can be those social projects? Education, health, environment, etc. etc. Now, why government is doing this? Because government want to ensure transparent and regulated CSR funding. See, if government is introducing any initiative, that means there must be some challenges related to current initiatives, right? So what are those challenges? If we talk about the CSR initiatives, sometimes what companies do, sometimes companies invest in the projects of not-for-profit organizations, but these NPOs are somewhat in for something or the other, they are related to the promoters of the company. So in a way, you can say that they are not investing in any independent project. They are giving money to their companies which are related to promoters only. So actually, the companies used to search loopholes in the CSR activities. That's why government has came up with initiative of zero coupon, zero principal instrument. Now, very important thing for the prelims, that since these are the changes related to CSR activities, that means there will be changes in the Companies Act, because Companies Act 2013 provide the provisions related to CSR activities. Who manages this CSR activities? It is managed by Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So please remember, Schedule 7 of Companies Act 2013 is related to all the CSR activities. So there will be amendments in the Schedule 7 of Companies Act. So here an item is added related to zero coupon, zero principal instrument on the social stock exchange. So there has been amendment in the Companies Act 2013 to add this provision of zero coupon, zero principal instrument. Second, what are the changes? What were the second changes? Changes were introduced in the CSR policy rules of 2014. So what changes are being introduced here? Now definitions are provided for NPOs because the instrument will be issued by the NPOs only, and zero coupon, zero principal instrument. So these two things are now defined in CSR rules 2014. Next thing is that the responsibility for the project execution will be of not-for-profit organization. So please remember all these changes. Now there are some conditions. If you want to invest money in this zero coupon, zero principal instrument. What is that condition? See, for example, if a company wants to invest in total of 10 lakh in the CSR activities. So out of 10 lakh, only 10% of the amount can be invested in this instruments. It's not like the entire 10 lakh you can invest in this instruments which are delivered, which are raised by this NPOs. So please remember, the entire amount cannot be invested in these instruments. Only 10% of your annual CSR expenditure can be invested in all these instruments. And who is the issuer? Already discussed. Only registered NPOs, not all LPOs, only registered NPOs, where they will be registered under Social Stock Exchange. Who will manage that stock exchange? SEBI will manage all the stock exchanges. Yes. So now here also in this image, I have summarized each and everything. So please download the PDF from our Telegram channel and revise the complete thing which we have discussed just now. Now, next very important article is related to BrahMos Missile deal. So recently India has finalized, yes, just a second. Yes. So recently India has finalized BrahMos Missile deal with Vietnam, and India is also going to sign this export deal with Indonesia also. So this is a very, very major milestone for India's export journey. Why? Because it will promote India's defense exports. Second, it will enhance or promote India's look east as well as act east policy. That's why this deal is very, very important. So since deal is signed related to BrahMos Missile, so let's quickly discuss some of the points related to BrahMos Missile, some of the objective prelims related points. So first point is, what is the type of this missile? So basically this is a cruise missile. Cruise missile means this missile can be controlled, and this missile can have the precision. That means if you are launching this missile, so this missile is not like a ballistic missile that you just launch this missile and forget about it. No, you can control the entire trajectory of this missile with precision. That's why it is called cruise missile. Second thing, this is a supersonic missile. So see, if we talk about subsonic, supersonic or hypersonic, so everything depends on the Mach number. That means the times, how many times its speed is with respect to speed of sound. So if we talk about the subsonic missiles, so these missiles have Mach number of less than 1. If we talk about the supersonic missiles, so these missiles have Mach number of 1 to 5. So these are the supersonic missiles, and BrahMos will come in supersonic missiles only. Mach number 1 to 5 means these missiles have the speed of 2 times, 3 times, 4 times than the speed of sound. And if we talk about the hypersonic, so speed will be more than Mach 5. So those missiles are the hypersonic missiles. So please remember, BrahMos first thing is a cruise missile, second thing is a supersonic missile. Now, it is developed by which two countries? So it is developed by India as well as Russia. So this thing you can see in the name itself. So if we see BrahMos, so it is made up of two words, that is Brahm as well as Mos. So Brahm means the river Brahmaputra. That's why the name is given Brahm. And Mos means the Moscow river. So it is major river in Russia. So here this is the Moscow river. So that's why this river name is BrahMos. Speed we already discussed, Mach 2.8 to 3, that means around 3 times the speed of sound. Now, if we talk about the launch platforms, that from what all platforms it can be launched. So please remember, it can be launched from land also, sea also, air also, as well as submarine level also. Please remember, these platforms can be asked in exam. UPSC can easily ask that BrahMos can be launched only from land and sea. So that option will be wrong. So it can be launched from each and every platform. Next thing about the role. So role, I think we already discussed its role in the precision strike against land and naval targets. Okay, so I think we discussed. Yes, yes. Oh, okay. I think by mistake I said here that Mach 3 means three times the speed of sound. No, it means the three times speed of light. Okay, okay. Oh, yes. So Mach 3 means three times the speed of sound. Okay. Now, if we talk about the significance of this deal, so I think we already discussed that this will boost India's defense exports, because since along with Russia, India is also involved in making this missile, so it will support our Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. Next thing is, it will strengthen India's Act East policy. Why? Because the current deal is with Vietnam, next deal will be with Indonesia. So all these countries are part of the East Asian nations. So that's why it will strengthen India's Act East policy. Next thing is, it will strengthen the significance in the South China Sea, because as you know, Vietnam, Indonesia, all these countries have already some kind of territorial disputes with China in the South China Sea. So that's why it will strengthen India's coastal defense capabilities, as well as it will promote or it will enhance the relations between India as well as Vietnam. Next thing is, it will expand India's defense diplomacy. So here, how it will expand India's defense diplomacy? So basically, it will establish India as a reliable as well as secure security partner in the Indo-Pacific region. So please remember, the next deal which is in line is with Indonesia. Okay. So this is the summary of the entire news. You can just download the PDF and you can revise everything. Yes. Now, this article is very important. So this article is related to Beaufort Castle, which is located in southern Lebanon. So what is the news? Recently, this Beaufort Castle was captured. Just a second. Yes. So recently, this Beaufort Castle was captured by Israel, and it is said to be the deepest incursion by Israel in more than 25 years. Because earlier, this castle was already under Israel till 2000, but in 2000, Israel had to withdraw from this castle. So Lebanon overtook this castle in 2000. But now, after more than 25 years, again, Israel has captured this Beaufort Castle. The first important thing for the exam is the location of this castle. So quickly, let's go through the location. So see, as you know, this is Israel. Yes, here this is Israel and this is Lebanon. Now, if we come towards the map of Lebanon, so here we are talking about Lebanon, and Lebanon, mostly the south of Lebanon. So because this fort is located in the south of Lebanon. So here, if we talk about the location, so this is Israel, this is south of Lebanon, and this is the location of Beaufort Castle. Please remember, these mappings are very important for the prelims. So what is the location of Beaufort Castle? It is located in Lebanon, and that too in the southern Lebanon. And that region is called as Nabatea. Please remember, what is the name of that region? Name is Nabatea. Beaufort Castle is located in Lebanon, in southern Lebanon, in the region of Nabatea. So southern Lebanon is the region which is known as the stronghold of a rebel group that is called the Hezbollah. So here, that's why Hezbollah has captured this castle which is located in southern Lebanon. Now, let's discuss the historic timeline of this castle. So see, earlier, is it visible? Yes. So earlier, this castle was built in the 12th century by the Crusaders. So who were the Crusaders? Crusaders belonged to the Christian religion, and they were the people who were involved in the Crusade Wars. And Crusade Wars were the religious wars, because these Crusaders fought for the occupation of the territories which were earlier occupied by the Muslims. So basically, they fought for the occupation of Jerusalem and other categories, other areas which were important for the Christians. So initially, this castle was built by Crusaders. After that, this castle was captured by Saladin. So Saladin was an important ruler from the Ayyubid dynasty. Okay, so for him also the major place was Jerusalem only. So who built this castle? This castle was built by the Crusaders. After that, this castle was captured by Saladin, who was an important ruler of the Ayyubid dynasty. Next came the Mamluk era, next came the Ottoman period, and after that, this castle came under the French mandate. Now, in 1970s, 1980s, this castle was captured by the Palestine Liberation Army. After that, in 1982, it was captured by Israel. Till 2000, it was under Israel only, but Israel had to withdraw in 2000. But now, after 25 plus years, in 2026, again this castle is captured by the Israeli forces. Now, after discussing this historical timeline, it becomes very clear that if all the rulers in the history wanted to capture this castle, then there might be some significance, right? So what is the significance? First important thing is the high altitude of this castle. So because of the high altitude, it becomes very easy to see everything. So it becomes very easy to do the surveillance, and it becomes very easy to defend your territories. So that's why, because of the high location, it dominates the surrounding valleys and military routes, and because of that, the surveillance of the nearby areas of Lebanon, of southern Lebanon, of northern Israel, all these things becomes very easy. Next thing is, this castle is located near Litani River. See here, if you can see, this is Litani River near the castle. So because of the presence of river nearby the castle, the movement becomes very important. The movement becomes very easy also. So that's why this castle was important, and that's why rulers in the history wanted to capture this castle. Now, I think this is done. Yes. So now here also, I have provided the entire summary of what all things we have discussed. So you can revise through PDF. Yes. Now, yes, this article is very important. So actually, this article I took from Down to Earth. So this was very, very important article. Actually, you can use some of the segments of this article in various subjects for the mains. So I shall be discussing. I know in what subject you can use what segment. So basically, if we talk about the news, so what is the news? See, actually, at present, this entire activity of transhumans in India has been criminalized. Mostly, all these activities are criminalized in India. So at present in this article, we shall be discussing about transhuman activities which is happening in the Western Himalayas region, in Jammu and Kashmir region. So the article says that transhumance has been criminalized for a long period of time in India, but according to a recent research, these transhuman communities in the Western Himalayas, these are responsible for providing the invaluable ecosystem services. So actually these services are worth of 6,000 crore. So that's why after this, so in conclusion, the article says that the criminalization of these activities must be eliminated. So these communities must not be criminalized for doing the transhumance activity. Now, why this article was recently in Down to Earth? Because 2026 has been declared as the International Year for Rangelands as well as Pastoralists. So, see, these transhumance communities are the pastoral communities only. That's why this article was recently in Down to Earth. So, please remember 2026 has been declared by United Nations as the International Year for Rangelands as well as Pastoralist communities. Yes. So now quickly discuss, since we are discussing about the transhumance activities. So first of all, let's know that what is the meaning of transhumance. So basically, transhumance means the seasonal migration of pastoral communities. So see, this migration is not just a random migration that people are going here and there. No. Please remember everything, please focus on each and every keyword. If we are discussing about transhumance, then transhumance is a seasonal migration. Seasonal migration of which community? Of pastoral community, not alone. Seasonal migration of pastoral community along with their animals, and not here and there. The migration will be along the fixed routes, it will be along the fixed seasonal pastures. So please remember the definition is very, very important. Again, if we talk about what is transhumance, so transhumance is the seasonal migration of pastoral communities along with their animals and not in random manner. Migration will be in the fixed routes and along the fixed seasonal pastures. Now see, what is the main purpose of transhumance? So see, if we talk about the summer season or winter season, so if, for example, if we talk about summer season, so in summer season, in plain area, the temperature will be very high. So during summer season, these communities will be migrating towards the high altitude regions, and vice versa will be done in the winter season. So yes, if we talk about, yes, so I think we can understand through this map. Yes, this map will explain very easily. Yes. So here we are talking about the tribes in Jammu and Kashmir. So here, this Jammu, Samba, Kathua, all these are the plain regions. So if we talk about the summer season, so during summer season, all these communities will be migrating from the plain areas. And see, this map you can use as a very good case study in geography also, for geography optional also as well as GS. So we are talking about transhumance. So here you can make a very simple map of the upper region of India, the upper part of India of Jammu Kashmir, and you can say that these communities are migrating from plain areas, for example, Jammu, Sama, and Kathua. They can migrate to high altitude regions, for example, Udhampur, Doda, Kishtawar, etc. Yes. Now, let's talk about the report, because recent report only said no that the services which are provided by them is worth of 6,000 crore. So here the recent a research done reveals that they provide near 6,000 crore of ecosystem services, and these services are provided alone by the pastoral community of Jammu Kashmir only. So the ecosystem services will help to manage to ecosystem and to manage the overall environment as well as biodiversity. So since we are talking about ecosystem services, quickly let's discuss what ecosystem services can be provided by these communities. So first of all, it's our first service is the range land management. So 2026 year is the year of range land, right? So their main contribution is the in the range land management also. Why? Because see, in summer they will be grazing, the animals will be grazing in one area. in winters they will be migrating to the next area. So what we are doing here, this will not allow the discriminate grazing of the animals, because one of the reason of the soil erosion is the indiscriminate grazing by the animals. So here, if the animals are changing their pastures period after period, so here it will help to maintain the rangelands and it will help to conserve the soil. Next thing is the fire risk mitigation. See, if we talk about the regions of Jammu and Kashmir, so there we will get various trees of chir. So cher trees, pine trees. So the important characteristic of the leaves of these trees is they contain an important resin or oil which can easily catch the fire. So whenever these communities are migrating, on their way only, they will collect all these dry leaves of all these trees. They will collect, they will burn, and they will manage the area. So that's why we can say that they have an important role to play in fire risk mitigation also. See, here we are talking about the ecosystem services. So this you can use as a very good case study in your GS paper 3 under the environment and biodiversity section. Next thing is the soil fertility as well as moisture retention. So see, as we know that these communities migrate along with their animals. So here, trading of soil increases its water absorption capacity. Trading means compressing the soil. So whenever many animals stand on the soil, so because of the pressure of their weight, the soil will be compressed. And if soil is compressed, then the water retention capacity of the soil increases, as well as the runoff will also increase. Along with that, the waste or animal excreta will boost the soil fertility, and along with that, it will help in the seed dispersion also. So that's why all these things are very important for soil fertility as well as moisture retention. So if we talk about these three ecosystem services which are provided, so around this much crore of ecosystem services are provided. And in that, if we add the carbon sequestration capacity as well as the indigenous knowledge of these pastoral communities, then overall ecosystem services will come worth of around 6,000 crore. This can be a very good case study. So I think please note the important points from the PDF. I will upload the PDF. In GS paper 3, you can use this as a very good case study. Now, here we shall be discussing that who conducted this study. So actually this case study was conducted by an IAS officer whose name was Shahid Chaudhary. So see, why I am discussing this, because this you can use as a very good case study in GS paper 2 under governance, or in GS paper 4 under ethics, because you can use this as a very good case study that how the basic steps taken by the civil servants can bring a very good change at the grassroots level. So here you can use the name also of this IAS officer Shahid Chaudhary. So what he did, he led a transhuman survey in Jammu Kashmir. He surveyed various maps, various camps, grazing areas, and based on everything of the survey, he prepared the report, and we came to the conclusion that ecosystem services they provide are worth of 6,000 crore. So you can use his name. So what are the policy recommendations which are given in the report? First recommendation was that you must decriminalize transhumans and remove the restrictive forest laws from these communities, because the contribution by these communities is very huge. That's why you must decriminalize transhumans. Second thing is you must recognize the customary rights, because if you recognize the rights of these communities, then no one can easily arrest them. So you must recognize their customary rights over these routes as well as over these rangelands. Next thing is that you must include these communities in the disaster management activities. That you must recognize that since these communities are migrating from plain areas to high altitude areas and vice versa, so these communities will be very much vulnerable to the climate change, to the disaster happening. That's why you must include these communities in the climate adaptation practices. And next thing is you must recognize the rights of these communities, and you must improve the access to education, healthcare, and basic services related to these communities. So yes, you can use this as a very good case study in GS paper 2 and 4, and you can use this as a very good case study under GS paper 3 for environment and biodiversity protection. Yes. So here also at the end, I have provided the complete gist of what all things we have discussed. Here I have added a small map also you can use in your GS papers. And yes, so you can revise through this. Now, a practice question for you. So the question says, consider the following statements regarding BrahMos missile. First is, this is a joint venture between India and Russia. Second is, this is a supersonic cruise missile. And third is, it can be launched only from naval platforms. So I think we discussed in very detail about the BrahMos missile. So try to answer this question in comment section. Again, we have a second question. Consider the following statements regarding Beaufort Castle. So it is located in southern Lebanon. Second, it overlooks the Litani River. And third is, it was originally built during Ottoman period. So I think the period in which it was built, the river which to which it is overseeing, the overall location on the map, we discussed everything. So I think you can answer this question also. So try to give answer in the comment section. So yes, the PDF of this entire lecture I will be uploading on our Telegram channel. So please revise, because at the end of every topic, I have added the complete summary of what all things we have discussed. So you can revise from that. Okay, so I think that's all from my side for today. Thank you and have a nice day.